Friends, family, teachers, thank you all for coming here today. Today is a symbol of all the hard work and effort that we have made. Whether it is getting up early, being ready for intense classes early on a Sunday morning, being willing to make it hard to schedule for a weekend. This is why we are all here, to celebrate a process of learning. And not just any learning, it's a specific kind of learning that makes Prozdor special to me, and I'm sure to my fellow classmates. It is the specific kind of learning that goes on here. Or more generally, it is the experience that this place is different, which makes Prozdor great. Coming here, I learn new topics, new techniques of studying, new ways of interacting between students and teachers that I did not get at regular school. I can now compare what we learn in secular subjects with their more objective approach and lessons that can and should be learned everywhere, such as the laws of physics or an analysis of the Eighth Amendment. But at Prozdor, we talk about things that are internal, the nature of the soul, where our ethics come from. As Martin Buber would have put it, in regular school, we learn with his I-it relationship, distancing ourselves with an objective lens. But here, we have an I-thou relationship with what we are studying. At Prozdor, we engage the texts and examples, going beyond analyzing to internalizing and asking what they mean to us. I have taken years of classes at Prozdor, and I learned things that are unable to be taught, but rather need to be experienced and lived. The discussions need to be held. Prozdor creates an environment in which that can happen. It's more than just the small classes, more than just the open discussions, more than the teachers who are willing to learn and students who are able to teach. It is simply because we choose to learn on a Sunday morning, choose to give up our desire to neutrally take in what we need to know, are not afraid to make mistakes. That is the ethos of Prozdor. We are not afraid to make mistakes because in matters of the soul, of spirituality, there is more than one right answer. There is only one way to learn, as we do in school, how Napoleon marched through Europe. But it is unique to Prozdor that we hear a Hasidic nigun, a traditional tune, based on Napoleon's army's march when they were freeing the ghettos. We ask ourselves, what did it mean that he liberated the Jewish communities along his route? Prozdor gives us a new standard to compare ourselves to. As a ninth grader, I was able to take courses like Rambam's Introduction to the Mishnah, which, when I visited my older brother at the University of Chicago, the classes in college were led in a style more like Prozdor than with any high school class I had taken. And I have noticed the Prozdor difference. My friends at school are beginning to talk about what is law, what is religion, what are morals, why do you do whatever traditions tell you to? From the beginning, I find that these are the questions that Prozdor trains us to ask ourselves. I already know a few of the ways of seeing these metaphysical problems, have been shown paths used to figure out the right way to address them for me. And with that in mind, we are ready to enter the world with our Prozdor knowledge. Extend the limits of what you have learned here. Never stop trying to see new ways of seeing knowledge. I wish you hatzlacha on your journey. Thank you.
Friends, family, fellow students, and teachers, if you had told me 6 or 7 years ago that I would voluntarily wake up early Sunday mornings to attend Hebrew high school, I probably would have just laughed. However, it was my decision to come here, and 4 years later, it still is. The first time I heard about Prozdor was in 8th grade, when the principal at the time, Bess Adler, visited my school, Solomon Schechter School of Queens. It seemed like a pretty cool idea, so I got a brochure. Later, my parents asked me whether I would seriously consider it, and I decided to enroll. They weren't truly surprised. I hated that I'd be leaving my Jewish day school for a public high school where I could easily lose my Jewish identity. Prozdor seemed like the right remedy, and I was not disappointed. I came to Prozdor for several reasons. I love learning Jewish studies and history, something I took for granted in middle school. Every semester, when I get the Prozdor course catalog in the mail, it takes a while to decide which class I should put as my first choice. They're all always excellent options. And one of the great qualities of Prozdor is that here, students can take a great variety of courses, ranging from strict Tanakh study to how modern Jews live in China, which isn't an actual course, but I wouldn't be surprised to find it here. That would be interesting. I'd like to take that. A class that truly changed my perspective on Judaism and answered several of my ongoing questions was one I took this past fall, taught by Rabbi Jeremy Kalmanovsky, called Halakha for Heretics. It was a class on how conservative Jews can maintain their Jewish values, but still live modern lives. When I was younger, I attended Orthodox, conservative, and non-affiliated schools. Therefore, I was very confused on how to live my Jewish life comfortably, and had constant arguments in my head about the right way to practice. In short, Rabbi Kalmanovsky taught that as society progresses, so should religious practice. While always staying true to Jewish laws and foundations, we can still adapt them to today. Because I had never thought of Judaism in this way, this was a life-changing experience for me. Although my mind always races with questions about Jewish practice still, that class gave me a start on my journey, and I thank Rabbi Kalmanovsky for that. Another reason I came to Prozdor is for the Jewish environment and my peers. I love that during bagel break, I hear students discussing a class's lesson after it has already ended. I love seeing both boys and girls wearing kippot. I love that when we had a representative from the David Project come during one of our senior seminars and pretend to be anti-Israel to introduce us to what college might be like, the whole class refuted all his arguments. It makes me proud to be part of this institution where I have the support from and can relate to both my teachers and my peers. As I and my fellow graduates go our separate ways in the coming years, we will remember Prozdor by the Jewish teachings it has given us and the friendships it has created. I am proud to be graduating from Prozdor, and yes, waking up early Sunday mornings has been completely worth it. Thank you.